Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second sessions of Polaris on Air. Today we're going to have Mr. Sonny and Mr. Christy Trang, who are the owners of Misfit Wearables, a new startup in the United States, and it's an American company. So, thank you so much for spending time with us. So, Mr. Sonny, would you like to tell us something about yourself, like your background or your hobbies?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm a startup guy, so I've always been interested in building companies and more importantly building products. So I've always been doing that. But prior to doing startups, I was in school at MIT, and I dropped out to start my first company, and then I dropped out again actually to start my second company, and then have been doing startups ever since then. But, yeah.
How about you, Miss Christy?
I'm now working for Misfit Wearables. I am lead of operations and strategy. And before that, I went to school in England, in Oxford, and then I worked for HSBC in investment banking. I did my MBA in Sloan, and after that, McKinsey Consultants in Boston. And I just joined Misfit Wearables this year.
As you may have already known, last week Domestic in Vietnam described you two, I quote, as a perfect couple of the Silicon Valley. So, would you mind tell us how you two meet?
Sure. Well, I was visiting in Vietnam, and a common friend of ours, introduced us to each other at a seminar. And so there was one seat open next to me, and she told her
I came in late.
She came in late, and so she sat next to me, and then that was it. So.
Yeah.
So, Miss Christy, if you can describe Mr. Sonny in 3 words, what would it be?
Well, I would say, how about just one word?
Yeah, one word. What
Well,
would it be
professionally or personally?
Wow.
Well, professionally, I would say unconventional.
Wow. So now the two of you are working for your old companies, Misfit Wearables, right?
Yeah.
So why Misfit Wearables? Why you're very, I would say, technical guy, and you are very banking wearables?
Well, banking, consulting,
Yeah.
common
So-
track for MBA grads.
Mm-hmm. But then Misfit Wearable is something kind of unique, right? Because it's a very niche market. It's not something that a startup would choose in the first place. So why Misfit? Like,
For me?
yeah.
Oh, right. So first of all, I have always thought that for my long-term career, I really love to do something that has impacts. Being in big corporations definitely has impacts, but it's not as tangible and visible. Also, I think I feel only belonging whenever I'm in the middle of friends and people who are close to my heart, and especially to work towards some common good for my country. So I feel very much at home when I work with a young group of people, Vietnamese talent. So Misfit is definitely very attractive to me. Also, I share a lot with the values of the company, and where it's heading towards is a new technology, but on top of that, the values to grow people and to help communities and people flourish is something that I deeply share and really want to follow.
So how about you, Mr. Sonny? Because I think Misfit Wearable is your son, right?
Right. Yeah. So sorry. What your question then is?
Like why Misfit Wearable? Why don't you choose like let's say a computer company or a healthcare company like the ones you work with?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of too many companies that I would want to work with. There are probably plenty if I thought about it, but like I said, I've always been a startup person. I've always enjoyed working on products, and at Misfit we are deeply focused on making products, great products.
So what kinds of
wearable?
Right
So our focus is on wearable computing, wearable sensing products, and I really think this is going to be a big deal. In the 1980s we had the PC revolution, personal computers, and in the 90s we had network computing, the internet. In the 2000s we had the mobile computing era, and now we're in the post-PC era of cloud computing and tablets and whatnot. And I really think the question is, where will computing go in the next decade or so, in the next couple decades? And I think one of those things is I think it's going to go on our bodies. And so, but it has to be done right. You know, people have tried wearable computing for many years, a number of years, and really have not seen too many successes. And so we'd like to be the pioneers in this space. Try to see if we can solve some of these problems. You know, because if we can solve them, the promise of wearables is great. You know, the ability to give feedback instantaneously, the ability to sense continuously, the ability to have technology with you wherever you go without having to carry around devices.
So what would we expect from Misfits Wearable in the future? Is there any kind of device or what?
You know, great wearable products. I think that's what we are focused on making, products that people will wear all the time for a long time.
And it's have computers on it.
Yeah, products that have functions beyond just the function of being worn.
Wow, like I would say a shirt and a computer.
Exactly, something like that. So something that would be that you'd wear and it would do something for you. You know, yeah. So it should be fun.
Okay, so last question. So what would be the message you would like to send to the youths out there? Because now I would say the economy is not in a very good time, and there's so many young students, they don't want to start up anymore, and they just want to, stick with something safe.
Well, I came from a place where life was pretty safe. I was at my last startup where life was pretty good. I was an executive and got paid really well and could kind of do whatever I wanted for the most part. And so life was good. But I think I was always hungry to find something meaningful, something that was bigger than myself that I could dedicate to. And whether it's a good economy or a bad economy, working on things that are meaningful to us, that's always an option. We always have choices in life. It doesn't mean you have to be in a startup. Startups are one way where you can find meaningful work, but you could be a big company and you can find meaningful work. But I think at the end of the day, that's for me. There's nothing more challenging than being bored. And so it's about finding those challenges for yourself that are meaningful for you at the workplace, whether it's at a startup or a big company.
I guess I share the same question. Just to add on top of that, startup is not for everybody. So don't feel any pressure if that is not what you're passionate about. There are plenty of things that are so interesting and so meaningful in life to go after. So my thought is that, life is too short to live with something that you do not really want. So be fearless and, just live simply first so that you have the opportunity to live as who you are.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.